Hey everyone, welcome back to Jesus Light and Trud. Today, we're diving into something deep and meaningful. What did Jesus teach about love and forgiveness? These aren't just ancient lessons from 2,000 years ago, they're a roadmap for life today. Ever wonder why loving others feels so hard sometimes? Or how to forgive someone when your heart's still hurting? Jesus left us timeless teachings, from the Sermon on the Mount to his final moments on the cross. He didn't just talk about it, he lived it. In this video, we'll break down his most powerful lessons, evaluate what they mean, and see how they fit into our modern lives. So, stick with me on this journey. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're ready for more content like this. Let's get started. First up, let's talk about love. In Matthew chapter 22 verses 37 to 39, Jesus says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself." This is known as the greatest commandment. But what makes it so special? Analysis. The love Jesus talks about isn't just a feeling, it's an action. Loving God means putting him first. But loving your neighbor? That's where it gets tricky. Neighbor doesn't just mean your friends or family, it's strangers. Even enemies. In Luke chapter 10 verses 25 to 37, the parable of the Good Samaritan shows this perfectly. A Samaritan, a guy despised by society, stops to help a beaten man when no one else would. Jesus is saying love crosses every boundary, race, religion, prejudice, evaluation. Back then, this was revolutionary. Jewish society was divided, but Jesus called for universal love. It forces us to rethink how we treat people. Here's the catch, it's tough. Loving your neighbor as yourself means sacrifice and patience, sometimes swallowing your pride. Could you help someone who's hurt you before? Real life example. Picture this. A coworker who's always competing with you suddenly needs help. Jesus' teaching pushes us to step up, not because they deserve it, but because love doesn't come with strings attached. Open question. What do you think? How do you love someone you don't even like? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's move to forgiveness. It's at the heart of Jesus' message. In Matthew chapter 6 verses 14 to 15, he says, "If you forgive those who sin against you, your heavenly Father will forgive you. But if you don't forgive, neither will your Father forgive you." Analysis. Forgiveness isn't optional here, it's tied to receiving God's grace. But Jesus goes further. When Peter asks, "Lord, how many times should I forgive my brother? 7 times?" Jesus replies, "Not 7 times, but 70 times 7, Matthew chapter 18 verses 21 to 22. He's saying forgiveness has no limit. The parable of the prodigal son, Luke chapter 15 verses 11 to 32, shows this too. The father doesn't scold his wayward son, he welcomes him back with open arms. Evaluation. Unlimited forgiveness is hard to swallow. If someone hurts you deeply, like betrayal or lies, you might forgive once. But twice? 3 times? Jesus asks for supernatural patience, something we often lack. But forgiveness isn't about forgetting or letting people walk all over you. It's about freeing yourself from resentment. Real life example. Imagine a close friend talks behind your back. You could cut them off. But Jesus says talk it out. Forgive, and give them a chance to change. It's hard, but it could save the friendship. Story illustration. In John chapter 8 verses 1 to 11, when the Pharisees bring a woman caught in adultery to be stoned, Jesus says, "Let the one without sin cast the first stone." He forgives her and teaches us not to judge too quickly. How does that apply to today's cancel culture on social media? That's what Jesus taught us about love and forgiveness. He never said it'd be easy, but he showed us it's possible. I hope this video inspires you to try a little bit of it in your own life.